I'd like to begin. I'd like to begin with a fact.
All right, here we go. I think we're good to go here, Cole. So welcome everybody to episode 127 of Millennialistic. I'm here with a old but gold buddy, Cole Miller here. We are old college buddies from the University of Iowa. While I was messing around, Cole, and trying to just graduate and get out of there in 4 years, you were like actually studying and getting good grades and doing the same things.
Half the time. I still spent my fair share of time at the bars and at your guys' apartment. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. That's what I was trying to think. Were we on the same dorm freshman year? Were you in Courier as well?
Actually, I didn't go to Iowa my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I transferred to Iowa my sophomore year. So freshman year, I was at Augustana and Rock Island, played basketball, and that didn't quite work out. But
I didn't know that. That's what I was trying to think of, like our origin of where we would have. But I would have figured you just were on our floor in our freshman year. But
yeah, I think like my buddy Dexter and Sam might have been.
Yep. Yeah. So that's like our circles hung out with each other.
Yeah, they were friends with Chris Peterson and Sanchez and those guys, and we kind of met through those guys. So yeah, thanks for having me, bud.
Absolutely. I think a couple of beer Olympics were involved there.
Oh yeah,
so
that's for sure.
Definitely good times in Iowa City for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate man, you hopping on. Cole, we'll get into it a little bit here, but obviously your background, your education is in the chiropractic realm. We've kind of transitioned more into weight loss stuff here, but why don't you start? You got I guess you don't get your bachelor's, right? When you're going for a chiropractic, you get your undergrad, or how do you frame that?
So I had a health and human physiology background at Iowa. So that's, a 4-year program. So yeah, technically an undergraduate program there. And then I went to Palmer Chiropractic in Davenport, and that's, got my doctorate there, doctor of chiropractic there. So that was another 7.5 years of college total. So I was ready to be done with the test, man.
Gosh. So that was 7.5 more years on top of your 4-year undergrad?
3.5 more years.
3.5 more years? Dang. Okay. Yeah. So 7.5 total. Man, that is wild, dude. Could never do that. I still to this day will get emails. People are like, hey, you want to come back and get your master's? I'm like, no, not at all. Not at all, actually. So what made you want to get into chiropractor?
Yeah. So I hurt my back a few times in high school playing basketball. I was trying physical therapy and doing, other things, and it was helping a little bit, just wasn't doing the trick. And then my mom finally recommended me to go see her chiropractor, and I didn't know anything about it at the time. It was my sophomore year of high school, and had a few adjustments. And I think after the third adjustment, I didn't have any pain at all. And I'm like, wow, what is this stuff? Like, this is absolutely nuts. Because I was dealing with that pain for months and months and months, and it just wouldn't go away. And he put my SI joint, my pelvis joint back into place, and it was able to play the rest of the basketball season without any pain. And then my chiropractor, he's from my hometown of Muscatine. He kind of was kind of my mentor. Going into college, was kind of split between, I loved science and how the body worked and all that stuff, and was kind of split between physical therapy and chiropractic. And I think it was my sophomore year of college. I'm like, yeah, I want to get into the chiropractic space. There's so many cool opportunities I can do to help people in that space. And then I decided to go to Palmer. My applied my junior year of undergrad, and then it just took off from there. So yeah.
How did you decide on Palmer?
Just because it was the closest, really, I, grew up half hour away from Davenport, and I drove by it all the time, traveling to Davenport and playing basketball tournaments and in that town, and that's all I really knew.
Yeah.
Was Palmer, and it's the founding chiropractic school in the entire world there in Davenport, actually, which is a fun fact. So not only the closest chiropractic school to my hometown, but the best.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I always tell people, I mean, yeah, if you're going to Iowa for anything, if you're in the health sciences, nursing, anything in or around a hospital, Iowa's the spot to be at for sure.
Yeah.
So, but no, man, that's very interesting. I didn't know that's kind of how you got into the chiropractic. So how long have you been doing that? I mean, gosh, for what, since I guess I've been 2018, 2019, you started doing that. So 6, 7.
Yeah, I've been in practice for 6 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And what are like most of your patients? Are they older people, like just having general back pain, or do you notice like any trends or anything? Or
there's definitely trends, with demographic of patients that come in, and the typical, or a common presentation of pain and stuff like that. But we see anybody from 1 day old. We adjust babies.
no way.
Yeah, and I have a patient who's 92, so a little bit of everything.
How do you adjust a baby's back?
Just really light forced. We use this with their back. We use these little handheld adjusting tools. That's super light force on their spine. Yeah, you don't go in and start popping on the little baby's back. No, we don't do that. Super light force. But yeah, the birthing process is it's a crazy thing. So the babies come out all curled up, and sometimes their nervous system and their spine can be out of place, causing irritation and colic and constipation and stuff like that. So we clear all that out.
So you like report to a hospital every day then for that, or do you?
No, we have people bring their babies in.
Oh, okay. They bring them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So then during this whole time though, even as working as a chiropractor, we weren't maybe having the best diet. And cool, I probably should have prefaced this before also, just so you know. I do not have a healthy diet nor exercise plan. So, but
I've been there, man.
I know that's kind of where you were at this point, and led to some more serious. And you talk about this all. I'm gonna go ahead and take a second to plug kind of what you're doing now. You talk about this all on your Facebook platform, so I'll make sure to post links out there. But what kind of happened at that point?
I'll be honest. I used to eat like shit, man.
Yeah.
At college, I do a bunch of eating contests. Pancheros.
Yes.
Pancheros. The OG Pancheros downtown. I've had
big old burrito.
One burrito is enough.
Oh yeah.
I had 3 of those in one sitting.
Oh jeez.
Under 18 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Didn't feel good doing that. And that wasn't it wasn't a cash prize, or it was just for clout.
For the gram, huh? Do it for the gram.
Do it for Twitter, man.
Yeah.
But that wasn't, just thinking back, I'd have 80 cheese balls and a pound burger, and I'd have, I did an eating contest with my brother-in-law, 5 McChickens, 5 McDoubles, 5 beers, first one wins.
Wait, what was that? 5 McChickens, 5 McDoubles, 5 beers?
Yeah. Fastest one to put all that down is the winner. I lost, by the way.
So this wasn't like you had an unhealthy diet. You had like an unhealthy obsession almost with.
Kinda. It was like every weekend I'm like, man, what am I going to do? How much food am I going to house? During the week, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But, the weekends just kind of caught up to me over the years and caused a bunch of digestive issues. I had colonoscopies and stuff like that because, they told me I had IBS and Crohn's disease and ulcers and hemorrhoids and this and that, and it was not fun. I was in a ton of pain. And not only that, I was on high blood pressure medications.
Right.
And a cholesterol medication for over 10 years, and doctors were telling me I'd be on those for the rest of my life.
Oh.
Well, it's genetic and it runs in the family, and you're probably going to want to plan to be on these for the rest of your life. And I finally had So I had this health scare. It was about 2.5 years ago, and it felt like I was having a heart attack. And, went to a cardiovascular doctor, and, they put a heart rate monitor on me and did all these tests. Everything checked out just fine. And it ended up being just a bad, like, heartburn, acid reflux flare up, where I was getting a ton of pressure in my chest, and like, I thought I was going to pass out a couple times. And that's kind of when I had enough.
Yeah.
I just really after that started to focus on all the basics, because so many people are like, hey, what supplement should I take, and what vitamins, and what detox program, and what this and that, all the things out there, but I really just focused on the basics. I cut out alcohol for a while, which was probably, what's that?
100% completely?
For a few months. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep. I think that was one of the biggest factors for me, was the alcohol, because I would drink, my favorite drink back in college, Diet Coke and Captain Morgan.
Dude.
And that really messed with my gut. It messed with it hard. And then once I cut that out,
I used to consume in college. Like, I think of it now and it makes me want to throw up.
Oh yeah. If I had one of those weekends, like a Thursday mug club, Friday, stay out till 3, tailgate, 6 a.m., drinking all day,
bro.
Like, I'd be dead.
We can't hang the way we used to.
No, we're washed.
For sure. Because people forget, I tell this all the time, but Iowa games usually started at 11 a.m.
Yep.
Which means tailgating usually started at like 6:30, 7 a.m.
Oh yeah,
I was the waiting part, I
was blaring Back in Black on my apartment subwoofer and speakers at 5:30 in the morning on game days.
Kegs and eggs, baby, kegs and eggs.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah, definitely not a healthy diet. Yeah, and that's honestly, man, I'm glad you brought that up, because something I was listening to somebody talk about recently, of like, they really don't tell you like how bad alcohol is for you. Like, they tell you about like liver cancer, and they tell you like, but they don't tell you really about all the kind of indirect impacts that also.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you think that was one of the major factors that contributed to all the issues kind of simultaneously?
I do. Yeah. Yep. I did. Once I cut out alcohol, I started to focus on, a whole natural food diet. I probably had, before that, I would have fast food, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, cut that out too. Focused on 1 ingredient foods, hydration, sleep, exercise, cut out alcohol. That's it.
Okay. So when we're saying you said whole health foods, is that what you said?
Whole natural foods.
Whole
yeah.
Natural foods. Give me some examples of that. Just like straight meat and veggies.
Meat, veggies, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, fruit, stuff like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm taking notes for my own self. But sweet potatoes are underrated.
Oh yeah, dude, you can do so many different things with sweet potatoes. I'll do like a sweet potato taco bowl. I'll get some lean ground beef, 93% lean, taco seasoning, put it on top of some sweet potatoes that I throw in the air fryer, put a little low-fat mozzarella cheese on top, cilantro, onion, salsa. It's fantastic.
All right. I might have to get that recipe from them. So yeah, sweet potatoes are definitely underrated, I think. But you think a lot of it just stems to, like you mentioned, the fast food. So you said you were eating out for, what would you say, like the average American, how often do they consume fast food, would you say?
Oh, probably more than that.
Yeah.
Every day?
Every day, probably. I would imagine the average American commuting to and from work stops at least once, or like a break or whatever.
Gas station food, quick piece of pizza or a sandwich, got it on the go. It's tough to eat well when people are busy on the road, on the go all the time. So
yeah, dude. And that's, I think, the trickiest thing. I think there's that part of it and the expense. It's probably more the convenience piece of it than the expense. Because I'm one. I honestly feel like if you're eating healthy, I feel like it's actually in a lot of times cheaper. You know what I mean? Versus like getting like I used to get like iceberg shredded lettuce in like the package. And I've learned if I just get a head of ice, which is I guess still wrapped in a package, but I like to think has less chemicals in it or whatever. And it's like cheaper than buying it shredded and packaged already. And it's so easy to just slice up lettuce. You know what I mean? It's not that
right.
difficult.
I have a private Facebook group, like a wellness and lifestyle group. I did a breakdown of the price between, you know, like the healthier meals that I eat compared to like similar fast food or, you know, fast casual things. And it's surprisingly way cheaper to, you know, eat the meals that I'm eating with whole natural foods.
What percentage would you say roughly?
Oh, anywhere between, you know, I'm making meals that are high protein, low in fat, moderate, good carbohydrates. Anywhere between $4 to $6 a meal.
Yeah.
And so compared to, you know, fast food now ain't cheap.
Yeah.
You know,
especially ever since like COVID, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have ranted on this podcast that I am boycotting Taco Bell until further notice because
why is that?
Dude, is outrageous.
I know they don't have the dollar menu anymore.
Dude, it's like I go in, you know, for my usual, the quesadilla, a few extra tacos, you know, large Mountain Dew, of course, and it's like $25.
It's insane.
Like this used to be $6, dude.
Yeah, I used to spend like, I mean, back then in college, you know, $15 would get you a ton of stuff. You know, I get the Crunch Wrap, Supreme, and the cheesy gordita crunch, and a bunch of other tacos, and
jeez, and that's when Michelle Obama came in and took out out of the bed mall. That's a conversation for a different podcast. But no, so you've went through that health scare, you started eating right, and then you found this new organization that you've partnered with, right, over the last couple of years here. Yeah. What's kind of the goal of that organization?
So it's like a nutritional weight loss program. It's called the VIP weight loss system. So really, you know, that I've been looking to add like a nutrition weight loss program to my practice for a long time now. It's just I couldn't find the right fit, the right one. You know, because you see all these weight loss programs, they're so restrictive, you know, where you're cutting way back on calories and yeah, you're going to lose weight, but you know, are you eating the right things? Is your sleep good? Is your digestion good? Is your energy good? You know, we focus on all the things that make us feel better, you know, you know, we really focus. It's a liver detox program, not with any supplements or anything like that. No, you know, strict detox, but, you know, through our whole food meal plan approach and, you know, all our other lifestyle habits that we put in place. So
like naturally that just works all that out of their system.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Long story short, you take back the excess fat, you know, the processed fried stuff. And, you know, that's going to just naturally take a lot of the pressure off of our liver. So our liver's able to function better and you know, eventually burn excess fat off.
So, but you mentioned like you're still eating like red meat.
Oh yeah. I eat more red meat now than I used to by probably 5 times.
Really?
So
because you hear a lot of people saying today to cut back on red meat.
Right. It depends on who you are. You know, some people's systems can't tolerate that much because their gut health is so crappy.
You're a fucking beast, dude. So you're like, bring it on, baby.
Dude, grass-fed ground beef is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can get. I probably have at least a half pound to a pound every day. Yeah. And that was one of the 2 things that my doctor told me to cut back on. Like, really? Cut back on, you know, with my blood pressure, cut back on red meat, cut back on sodium.
Yes. So, okay. So I was going to ask you about that because that's what my doctors told me the same thing. I'm also on cholesterol medicine that he told me I'm probably going to be on for the rest of my life. And I even asked him, this was like maybe a year and a half ago. Like I was kind of in that, like, I just didn't give a shit. Like I was eating whatever, however much I wanted. Not like these days, my diet still isn't good, but I'm like trying, and I basically was asking him like, hey, like, before I get on this medication, should I try like dieting and exercising first? And he basically told me like, man, you can do that if you want, but it's going to have a very minimal impact. And this is genetic, it's hereditary, and you're going to need these pills. So you can do that if you want. And I told him, I said, well, let's like start there at least. So I did that for about 6 months. My levels got a little better, but not a whole lot. So now I've actually got an appointment tomorrow morning actually to see kind of where those levels are at.
Okay.
But that just like sounded weird to me when he was like, yeah, no, your diet and exercise doesn't really impact this. I'm like, what? Like, is that? They just didn't, I'm not a science guy, but to me, if you're having bad cholesterol, your diet probably has something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it absolutely does.
Is that a common misconception with that?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
We hear that. I hear that all the time. It's not just me, not just you, but a lot of the patients that I have coming into my clinic, they're on some type of statin, right, to bring down the bad cholesterol numbers that you see on your labs. And, it's genetic, or you need to focus on, less red meat and stuff like that is a pretty common thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you're focusing on, whole natural foods and hydration and exercise, that can be a big game changer for, getting off a medication like that.
Yeah, you mentioned that as well. Hydration and sleep. How key are those two things you think in like overall health?
Oh, huge.
Probably the two most underrated things, would you say?
Yeah, for sure. Sleep. That's when our body heals. That's when our body detoxes. So if we're not getting a restful night of sleep, that can throw pretty much every system in our body off.
Yeah.
So yeah, sleep's huge. Hydration's huge. I try to get at least half my body weight in ounces of water every day, which that's
usually what I try to do, I think.
Yeah.
You see, I drink constant. I always tell me if I do 2 healthy things, I drink a shit ton of water and I get at least 6 hours of sleep every night.
Yeah.
Usually like closer to 8 or 9.
That's good. Those are 2 important things, man. That's good.
But those are the only 2 healthy things I do. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Outside of that, and it gets a little dicey. But so what are like when I'm assuming you're like especially, you mentioned you got wife and kids at home, so I'm assuming you guys are big meal preppers there at the house.
Yeah. Yep. I'll do like I'll prep maybe 3 to 4 pounds of meat, whatever, if it's ground beef or ground turkey or chicken. On Sunday or Monday, I'll prep some veggies, prep my carb, which is either, I'll make a jasmine rice bowl or sweet potatoes or regular potatoes. Every once in a while, I'll make a sandwich with sourdough. By the way, Aldi has this great 3-ingredient sourdough bread. That's fantastic.
Okay. All right.
So I'll make some egg sandwich.
Bro. Aldi, bro.
Yeah. I love Aldi. I just got back from Aldi haul here a couple hours ago.
Yeah, you've done that. I've seen you you post your grocery list from Aldi and how much it costs and what you plan to make with that. And like you said, really when you break it down, I'm like, hey, this is all the meals you get with this. I think a lot of people will be shocked that it's a fraction of what you're spending at Subway, McDonald's. That's actually what I learned in college. I was working for another landscape company in college, and I was getting Jimmy John's delivered every day. I worked part-time, right? So I worked 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. Yeah. And I'm probably spending half of that on Jimmy John's sandwiches.
Dude, did you know in Iowa City, I worked in those parking booths?
Oh no, I didn't know that. I don't think.
At the university hospital, there's the dental lot across from Carver Hawkeye Arena. I would get Jimmy John's ordered to my booth at least 95% of my shifts.
Absolutely, dude. I don't know what it was. Well, back then it was like you get it delivered to you for like $9 or whatever.
Yeah.
sandwich, drink, and chips. Now again, of course, it'd probably be like $38 or whatever. But, it's memory lane here a little bit, but Jimmy John's was the only place that usually delivered at like 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Or like even I think one delivered even at like 8 a.m. So I would just wake up hungover as all get out and just like, I mean, I'd call Jimmy John's like a zombie, just being like, please, like someone save me to like deliver me a sandwich. But yeah,
man.
Yeah, not good at all. But yeah, now it's just like, this is ridiculous. I'm spending $30 a week on Jimmy John's sandwiches when I could just go get a loaf of bread and like turkey and cheese and just do this myself.
Yeah.
But
it takes a little, with the meal prep, and it takes a little extra time, but I got a little system down where, I don't take any more than an hour every week to do it. And I'll wake up and prepare my, I make eggs every morning and yogurt for my morning snack. Then my lunch is usually some type of high protein bowl. And then at night, it can vary. If I'll have the same thing again at dinner, sometimes I do, or I'll, make a steak or make the family a casserole, or that my wife usually makes those casseroles too. So yeah, we're not perfect, we're all human, but we're pretty dialed in with our meal prep.
That's one thing I miss about the Midwest, dude. I feel like the South hasn't learned about casseroles yet. And when they do, it's game over, dude. It'll be game over. Pulled pork, egg casserole, or some crazy stuff. But no, I think that's the other thing too with it is I think when a lot of people diet and exercise, it's like I think a lot of people get discouraged because they're not perfect at it. You know what I mean? They feel like if they have a cheat day, it's like, oh, no, I've ruined it, so I might as well give up. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that either. You can just get back on the next day. Do you see that a lot with your weight loss people? Of like they get on it and then they hop off?
I see it a lot. So we do a lot of accountability on our weight loss program. It's a entirely virtual program. So, you learn all the stuff on our website or app. You're going to watch a lot of videos and learn all that stuff. And, people watch the videos and then, they're not on their own. They have me as their accountability coach. And we have like group Zoom calls every week. We go, people share their stories and ask questions, and we'll kind of, figure out if they're having any challenges and how to, work around those. And then they send in food journals every week. And some people do it, for a couple weeks, and then they don't show up, and what happens after they stop showing up to that stuff, and they stop holding themselves accountable, then they stop seeing results, so doing the little boring, tedious things, and being consistent with it, that's one of the biggest things that I've seen, since doing this for the last year. But people who get off track and just kind of wing it, even if they're in our program, they have a hard time of seeing results.
Right. Yeah. Staying consistent. And do you think that accountability piece of it is probably one of the bigger pieces as well?
I think so. It's hard to do anything on your own, right?
Right. That's
especially
hard in and of itself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard in a job. You have your coworkers, you have your higher ups that, hold you accountable. It's hard to, win any sporting events, without a coach and a staff that's holding you accountable. It's hard to lose weight. There's so much information out there on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and, whatever else. It's hard to know even what to believe, what's out there on the internet. And there's so many different diet approaches, with all the extreme things, cut out carb, keto and carnivore, and those have their own lane of importance, but it's all about balance, man. It really is all about consistency and balance, that's what we really teach in our program.
No, everything in moderation, for sure.
Exactly. You still have a beer or two on the weekend.
Yeah. There you go. That's the only reason I do work out, is just so I can have a beer or two on the weekend and not feel bad about it, for sure. Yeah. But so I mean, tell me, man, about like some like major success stories you've had with And I'm sure at
I
this
have
like 75 clients at this point, right? So
pretty close in the last year. I'd have to count back and look at the numbers, but 70 to 75. Currently, we have, I believe, 25 that are in right now.
yeah.
So I have one client. He's actually a patient of mine at my office. His name's Tom. And last year, he started at 350 pounds. So he's a big dude. He's 6'6", and he was having to come in every other week for an adjustment and a massage, and it would help a little bit, and then his pain would come back. And, I told him it's hard to adjust anybody who's chronically in pain and chronically inflamed in their systems. All their organs are, really stressed out from the excess fat. It's hard to give those people long-term relief with what I'm doing in my office. So I mentioned this program to him, and he goes, let's do it. Let's do it. So looking a year ahead, Tom is down 100 pounds.
Dang. So he's down to 250?
250.
6'6". I mean, he's probably still got work to do. But, he's like back in the ballpark of like a healthy BMI at that point.
Oh, he looks great. He looks night and day difference between where he was last year and this year. He's in less pain. He's happier. He's able to do more things that he likes to do, doing yard work and going on walks with his wife. And, says that his relationships are even better now. From where he was in the past, being frustrated, 100 pounds overweight. I mean, that's got to be kind of depressing,
Yeah, don't you think there's something too about like what you're doing of like it just gets people like in a routine? Right?
Yeah,
like, you got discipline. And like what I've found for me, a lot of it started professionally, right? Like developing good habits, and then that started to spill into my personal life. But it's like, don't you feel like a lot of that, like whether it's with weight loss in your diet or your career or your spiritual journey or whatever, but it's like once you really get disciplined in something, like that's just good for your overall like you're just happier, your relationships are better, you feel better, is that just a big piece of it, you think, too, with it, of just getting in the routine and the discipline of it?
Oh, routine's a huge thing, man. For anything, just like you said. We have people journal, which, develops them getting in a routine of writing down what they're eating and how much of it. And we have them get in a routine of following it's called the 6 foundational habits of weight loss. So we really focus on, building a good lifestyle around, these routines. I used to just kind of wing it for everything with my workouts, my work, my, whatever else I do. And now I have a routine for everything.
Yeah. No, I'm very scheduled out.
Yeah. I have a routine and, a plan in place for my workouts. I keep track of my workouts now. And, I track what I eat, and that's, I probably would be able to figure it out by now since I've been doing it for a few years, of how much I'm eating and, how much more protein I need to eat to hit my protein goal. But I still like to have those, numbers in place so I can hit that goal. Right. But yeah, routine's such a big thing for everything. And I used to wake up like last second possible, I would go shower real fast and then make breakfast quick, get the clothes on the kids, and then out the door. Right. And that was like, go, stress up here. Cortisol levels are way up here. And just, that not having the routine would just throw the whole day off. And now I have a morning routine before my, get ready for work routine. And I wake up and I just kind of start off slow, go on a little walk, go number 2, which is also another important thing,
Get up and get your poops in, folks.
You gotta have a regular digestive system. It's a big part of a healthy lifestyle. And I'll do a little mobility stretching routine, and then I'll prep the kids breakfast. I'll get all my food ready to go. And then, then after that, it takes maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes every morning, and then start the rest of the morning and have way more energy, even though I'm waking up, a little bit earlier, and just have that whole day planned out. It's a world of a difference.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too. Of like, as you're going through that, you have more energy because of that routine, and it's almost like you're almost mentally better prepared for it. Of like, what every day looks like, so you're almost better to take it on that way as well. So
Yeah.
no, I think that's awesome, bro. So, and you do all your stuff remotely, you're saying. So I mean, people do all this, and then they meet with you, so you can do it with clients all over the world, hypothetically,
all over the U.S. as of now. Yeah.
Like, how do people get involved? If I wanted to sign up for VIP weight loss, what does that look like? What does it cost? And how does like somebody get started with that?
So yeah, usually I do a lot of stuff on Facebook. So, you can add me, Cole Miller, on Facebook, and then we'll kind of go over some initial goals and things like that. And, if it seems like I'd be able to help you out, then we'll jump on it's called a discovery call. And then we'll, go over your goals in more detail. We'll kind of go over what the program entails. The price is a little bit different for everybody, depending on what your goals are, and kind of, where you're at now with, how much weight you have to lose and stuff like that. So, yeah, easiest way is Facebook.
Okay, I got you. Well, we're definitely going to put your social media stuff in here so people can follow you. I definitely want them to get in on your secret VIP page on Facebook, because I know I joined that, and there's I love the stuff you post in there. Everything from like your meal prep notes, just random stuff you're getting at the grocery store, I think is super helpful. And like you said, man, with so much stuff going around on Instagram and TikTok and all, like I don't know who's real and what to believe anymore. So I'm trusting you, Cole. I'm trusting you with this information. So you got to take care of me.
Hey, it works, man. This program works. I've seen it firsthand. I did it, basically went through it myself. And I'd say 99% of the people that join my program and do what they're supposed to do, there's the kicker, do what you're supposed to do. They hit their goals and they get the results they want.
Yeah. And that's the key with it, man. I'm like, yeah, there's no magic wand, right? No secret pill that's out yet. Well, Ozempic, I guess. But let me ask you about that real quick. I mean, that's kind of been the recent thing here with the weight loss, is like Ozempic and Wegovy and these other like prescription. And now as that becomes more popular, we're starting to see like, okay, maybe it just makes you diarrhea and throw up a lot. Like what's kind of your take on these new weight loss prescriptions?
So yeah, our program, actually, an optional part of our program is something similar to those, we'll call them peptides, the Ozempic and the Wegovy. We use a really low dose of the peptide. It's naturally, they're called GLP-1s. That GLP-1 is kind of like a hormone. It's made in our small intestine. And as we age, as we go through life, those GLP-1s, it basically shuts off. So we're trying to turn it back on, get the fat burning process going a little bit quicker, speed up the metabolism, balance the hormones out. So we do it with that approach with, everything else, lifestyle, habits, and nutrition, and then just a little Kickstarter with the GLP-1.
Yeah.
And how that's different from all these, the Ozempic and Wegovy and Mounjaro and all those things. Those are super high dosage, and they don't really give them a plan.
Right.
They're just like, hey, take these shots once a week and you might not be very hungry, and good luck. So
yeah, and I feel like that's kind of how it's marketed too. Of like, you don't really have to do any diet or exercise with this. Just this is kind of the weight loss with no commitment type deal. And it's just it's kind of one of those of like, is that healthy? Like, is that how that works?
Right. And some people do, they'll do those and get, they'll get good results. They'll lose weight. They'll feel good. But, I see it all the time of people coming to me after they start the Ozempic and they feel like crap. They're like, hey, I lost 20 pounds on this Ozempic, but now I can't poop and I don't have any energy and I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And, they tell me that they haven't been eating at all. And, their body may be going into basically like starvation mode, to where, their metabolism really slows down, their digestion slows down, and it's like holding on for dear life. They lose weight, yeah, but some of that weight might be lean body mass, like muscle. So
right, which is good
with
for
our
you.
approach, we make, yep. With our VIP weight loss system, we're making sure people are hitting their protein goals, and with the balance of nutrition and exercise and lifestyle habits and accountability. And then with the GLP-1, most people report back that they have improved digestion, improved energy, better sleep, and all those other things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, man, I go back to what you were saying of like, it's definitely got to be both. It's got to be, like, if you're going to use that stuff, you got to be balanced, right?
Yeah.
With it, so for sure. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, if you go and take one of those peptides, no matter what the dosage is, and you continue to drink a ton of alcohol and eat fast food and fried foods, and you're dehydrated, yeah, you're most likely not going to feel good.
Yeah. Not how that works. Not how that works. Not
how
yet.
it works at all.
They haven't figured it out yet, but someday, they might. We'll see. But until then, everyone go subscribe to Cole's VIP weight loss there. If you're in the northwestern Iowa area and you need your back worked on, go see my boy Cole. We got college football coming on here very soon.
Right around the corner.
Big time. Obviously, it's a much bigger ball game than when we were in school. What are we predicting for our Iowa Hawkeyes this season?
Well, let me
got a new quarterback coming in, young man from South Dakota State, correct?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the quarterback room this year. So that's a plus.
You could say
First time in a long time.
Years probably.
Let me take a look at the old schedule here. So we got Albany, that's a win. Iowa State, that's looks like big noon kickoff on Fox. I think we're going to win that one. UMass, that's a win. Rutgers win. Indiana, you know what? Indiana coming into Kinnick, that might be a little tougher matchup than what some people are.
Yeah, he's got a squad, man.
We can't write off Indiana just yet.
Cincinnati over there.
Let's see it. Let's say they win that 5-0. At Wisconsin, Fickle's kind of running a whole different system over there, kind of run things into the ground there at Wisconsin. So let's start 6-0 here.
All right.
Penn State's coming into Kinnick. That's going to be tough. 6-1. We'll call that an L.
I think so too. Minnesota, that should be an easy one. Minnesota
bounce back. 7-1. Oregon,
that one's probably not happening either, unfortunately. I think
let's just say that they win against either Oregon or at USC. So go 8-2 at that point, 9-2 after they beat Michigan State, 10-2 after they win in Lincoln. 10-2. Book it.
That sounded like college football playoff territory right there.
That might be on the border.
I think if you go 10-2 in the Big Ten, it would depend. I mean, we're probably not making a conference championship at that point. They're saying Penn State and Ohio State again.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of Penn State is picked. Man, you're a lot more optimistic than I am at 10-2. I'm kind of the traditional. If we go 8-4, 9-3, I'll be happy. So.
I mean, there's about 6 or 7 games here on the schedule that they're capable of losing.
That's right. So, I don't think Oregon, USC, or Penn State are probably happening.
Yeah, I don't
think it's on the road at USC.
Yeah, that'll be tough. That'll be really tough. I'll be happy with 9-3, but I mean, that ain't gonna get you in the playoff.
The question that I've been asking Iowa Hawkeye fans is this Kirk Ferentz's last head coaching season?
I heard through the grapevine, source of a source of a source, that this is his last year.
I think it's time. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, especially here publicly in front of millions and millions of viewers of this podcast. But man, unfortunately, I think the new evolution of the game has just passed by, and like these bunch of these older Saban and Coach K and everyone else, I just think Kirk needs to exit stage.
I believe so. I'm a big time Kirk fan, but I do believe that it's time.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we'll get Mike Tomlin after he gets fired from the Steelers. We'll see. But
let's only hope.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Cole, I don't want to keep you any longer, man. I know you got a whole family and life and weight loss to get to here. So anything else you want to tell the viewers here before we log off?
I don't think so. Nope. Just I mean, if you're looking at getting healthier, just get back to the basics. Eat well, sleep well, poop well, and move a lot.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Well, Cole, we'll definitely get this video out here later this week. We're going to get your socials in the description. So make sure, oh, my cat joined the podcast. Look at that. Make sure to go follow Cole on social media. And if you're interested, folks, stuff works. This program works. So subscribe to him, get connected, and have your discovery call with him. See how he can help you out. But Cole, I really do appreciate you hopping on here with me, man. It's been too long. We need to catch up again sometime soon. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Hey, have a good rest of your day. And this has been another episode of Millennialistic. See you, Cole.
See you, man.